NelsonJoypad.com bring you another original.
Hello fellow gamers! Recently, Mouse and Joypad was asked to come and hang out at Vicarious Visions Studios in Menons, New York, in anticipation of the release of Skylanders SuperChargers, the newest entry in the Toys to Life series. We were able to sit down for a one-on-one interview with the team behind this wonderful saga, and got to ask some fan questions about their newest entry. Trevor Anderson with Mouse and Joypad here. I'm here with David Nathanielz. He's the executive producer here at Vicarious Visions. I want to thank you for giving me the time today to ask you some of my questions.
No problem.
Skylander SuperCharger seems like a pretty strong departure from the original series, especially with the vehicles. What has inspired that change, and what can you say is the most exciting and familiar thing that's going to be for fans?
Right, so I would say the inspiration came from the fact that every year when we're working on Skylanders, we're thinking about how can we take Skylanders and Toys to Life forward? How can we innovate? How can we bring a new experience, new ways to bring toys to life, new ways to play Skylanders? And what we hit on early in development was that vehicles were a great opportunity for not only new compelling gameplay, but also awesome toys, and toys that we know people love already, right? Like the toy innovation for us, was whether it was Swap Force or Trap Team or what have you, is as much about bringing those toys to life as about giving kids and players really fun toys to play with in their living room. So vehicles was a great, immediately it was like, oh, this is a great idea. We can have cars that really roll across the floor. We can make that play experience, that imaginative play experience off the portal even more fun. And then we have this great opportunity for really cool new gameplay set in the Skylands, which brings new innovation to the gameplay. So it was like 2-in-1 victory for thinking of vehicles, and then it was just off to the races. Like, oh, we can do planes, we can do helicopters, we can do boats, we can do submarines. It was like we have so many options to do really cool new stuff, and still stay true as well to that on-foot gameplay so that we haven't left behind what makes Skylanders great. So it really, again, started with how do we keep pushing Toys to Life forward? How do we keep delivering new fun experiences with Toys to Life, but give the people something a little bit different than what they've seen before?
Yeah, and to be honest, it feels like a really good fit, because I remember growing up, I had Ghostbusters and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle toys, and I would always throw them into vehicles and roll them around in different types of stuff they weren't supposed to be involved with, and it just feels like a really good match.
Yeah. I mean, I did the same thing with my, toy cars, and I would take my beanbag chair and I would pull it up like it was a mountain and play with the car. Okay, well, we could spend hours talking about what we did, but
yeah.
It's a great match. Yeah.
So you're finally bringing darkness into the light, to use a pun. This is something that you've been hinting at for a long time. What can we expect from that story? Where are you most excited about broaching that mythos?
Right. So what I'm most excited about is I think this is the deepest, richest, most emotional story, with great, exploring the characters of Kaos and Glumshanks and Flynn and the darkness as a villain. I'm excited about the depth of this story. It's not just about the game for us. We put a lot of effort into delivering, over 40 minutes of story in the game that is really fun to get engrossed in and see what those characters that now people, after many years of Skylanders, are familiar with, and get a little bit to learn more a little about them. So yes, the darkness is back, and darkness personified in many ways in our story, and his interaction with Kaos and with Flynn and with the Skylanders is something I think really cool. Very excited for people to experience the story of Skylands this time around, as well as the gameplay.
Yeah, the cinematics are amazing. I got to sit down with the cinematic director, and he showed us like a lot of the work that he's put in. And it seems like you guys are building a lot stronger of a narrative, but also taking this into a realm where it almost feels a bit like a Pixar movie or something. You know, with very interesting angles and developments with your characters.
Yeah, again, like our cinematics team is really focused on telling cinematic storytelling in a video game, and yeah, you mentioned some great people to aspire to, and that's what we do. So.
Also, something really exciting for this year is the Wii U versions getting Donkey Kong and Bowser, which is a great partnership, especially with them entering the Toys to Life market. How did that come about, and were you most excited about those possibilities?
Yeah, so I mean, the partnership with Nintendo, and the collaboration really with Nintendo, for us at Vicarious Visions, started long ago. We've had a great relationship, Vicarious Visions and Activision, with Nintendo. For VV, we made games, major games on Game Boy, Game Boy Advance, DS, 3DS, and Wii U. We've been a launch title on so many of their key platforms over the year. We launched Skylanders Giants on the Wii U, and so this is really the culmination of a really long collaboration and partnership with them. And so, it was an opportunity that came up through the development that we just felt we needed to jump on, and it's turned out great. Turbocharged Donkey Kong and Hammer Slam Bowser are two really fun characters to play with, and they fit right in, which is the cool thing, is these characters that are known from other universes, and they sort of in the fiction have been called on from other universes to help support the Skylanders and save the Skylands, and they feel like they fit right in with these new powers that we developed here that draw on some of those classic games that they've been in, but are unique to this game.
Yeah, and I think it's a great move, and everyone knows Spyro was one of the first properties you introduced. With this, is this a trend? Is there a possibility that maybe you have more universes you want to pull in? And if so, what's something that you would love to see in the universe?
Yeah, I don't know if it's a trend. That's something that only the future can tell, and obviously we're not focusing on beyond this year's game. So I don't think it would be a good idea for me to speculate about what we could or would love, but hopefully the things that people could see as being great ways to expand the Skylands. Hopefully we can do some of those in the future.
Sounds great. And also, one of the first things that the first game had, the Spyro's Adventure, was a PC port. And I was wondering, with Valve introducing Steam machines and kind of trying to bring consoles back into their side of the market, is there any chance that we might see a future iteration being put into the PC market?
Yeah, I don't know about that. I mean, we're really looking at where our market is playing the game and where they want to play the game. And right now, the PC version isn't one that we're planning. It highlights the fact that we've got this iPad and iPhone version that we are planning on releasing, and we see so many people, Skylanders fans even, who are playing on those platforms, and so we've really put a lot of effort into getting the game onto iPad and iPhone and supporting that this fall, which I think is a great opportunity for people to play the game on different platforms in the console.
Yeah, and I got to play a little bit on the tablet, and it runs really well, especially for having a limited hardware base. So the other thing I have some fan questions from Reddit.
Okay.
I know, I asked Reddit to contribute some questions. So the first one I have is from a Home 145. Some leaked box art showed that there's not only going to be online features, but possibly an online co-op. Could you explain how that all works?
Right, so yes, the online features in the game are pretty vast, and we have online racing for the racing modes, and we have online co-op for the traditional story mode. So you can jump in with a friend, really join practically anywhere at any point with a friend in the co-op mode, co-op adventure mode. Jump in, jump out, play the story mode, and that also includes Sky Stones, so you can play Sky Stones against your friends in the online co-op mode. So we really brought online into pretty much every corner of the game. which is awesome because we've seen people asking for that for years in the franchise. Very excited to have people playing with their friends online, especially the racing. I think that's going to be a really great experience for people.
I think the experience is really good, especially when you're sitting in a room with your friends. But to be honest, to have that option is amazing, because I have some friends that are huge fans over in California that are going to love to hop online with me. Yeah. Next one I have is 508. With the inclusion of vehicles and trophies, where's the future of Skylanders heading? Is there any concern that you might be adding too many features or figurines?
Right. I don't know about if there's a concern. I mean, one of the things we've always really been focused on is honoring that collection that people have. So yes, there are a lot of toys out there now that we're heading into the fifth version of Skylanders. There's a lot of toys out there. People have a big collection, and we want to make sure that those toys in that collection is valuable in the game. So that's why we're supporting traps with their unique functionality in the game, where they give a weapon boost on the vehicles, and we're supporting all those old characters. But what we see is that people really, for the most part, each year they're playing primarily with those new marquee toys and characters for that game. So vehicles is going to be a big part of this game. So, every year you got to deliver something new for people. They want new gameplay, new innovation, new ways to play, something that they haven't seen before. You want to stay true to the things that they love. You got to make that balancing act. You got to throw some things away that maybe, just because of time or because they're not super popular features, you throw those away. You bring in new awesome features. I don't have a concern about it getting too big or too unwieldy, because we'll always be able to make that balance of bringing in the new, keeping the stuff that works, and adjusting and letting some things retire, gameplay mode wise. And from a collection standpoint, again, I think it's great that we can support everybody's collection. And I don't know. I don't know if having too many toys is a bad thing.
And I've seen some of the collections online. There's some big ones out there.
Yeah.
Let's see. Otis wants to know, why hasn't the series embraced PvP combat?
So it's interesting. So we've had PvP modes in prior games, but not. I don't know if Otis was talking directly about head-to-head combat between two players playing as Skylanders, and that's a pretty complex thing to deliver on, especially with a wide range of characters with so many powers, movesets, etc., and actually impacting the other player. And it's also something that, in my mind, goes a little bit against what we believe Skylanders to be, right? These are heroes. They're working together. They're a team. Your collection is a team of heroes working together. So if they start, hurting each other, I don't think that's the right choice. So that's a couple of reasons. But we've had these PvP modes in many of the games where you have a goal or a challenge, who can defeat the most enemies first, or who can complete this, this particular activity.
Kind of a competitive kind of nature.
It's a competitive game mode, but you're not actually, fighting with each other. And I think those are the reasons why, that mode is not something we've done to date.
Your team has introduced many features that fans have lauded, such as jumping and swapping. What has inspired you to make those positive changes?
Yeah, again, going back to the earlier question, so every year we're really looking at how can we innovate and bring toys to life forward. Skylanders Spyro's Adventure, when TFB released it 4 years ago, it really created the Toys to Life genre. And but it's not enough just to create it. We want to innovate. We want to continue to lead and do things that people haven't seen before in any Toys to Life game. And so whether it's TFB, whether it's VV, we're focusing on how we can add those innovations. Big innovations like vehicles and a whole new type of gameplay, or small innovations like bringing in jump, or altering the paradigm, the game hook mechanics in an individual level, so that pushbox puzzles work in a different way. It's always about trying to bring that new edge, new novelty to the gameplay, so that when people play it year in, year out, they're seeing new stuff and they feel like we're pushing the genre forward.
And last of my questions from the Reddit audience is from BT Gustas, what inspired you to add in vehicles to the series? I think we already touched on that. But like abilities and traps, will these vehicles be exclusive editions that or unutilized in later versions? And I know that you work with in the now, but is there any possible plans for future iterations?
Well, what I can say is, you've seen the history of the franchise now. We've always made it a big focus to make sure that we honor that collection. That whether you're a new player this year or you've got 3 or 4 versions of Skylanders before you in a big collection, that we're honoring those toys that you bought. And so while the plans for the future aren't defined, so I can't directly answer the question, I know that it's always been, historically we've always honored that collection and made sure that if people have Skylander toys, that they're going to be valuable in the future.
And one last question for me. What's the happiest memory you have from working on this series? Because you've been working on it for a while, so what's the thing that always sticks with you?
It really is about seeing people play the game, and especially, we have a wide range of users. We've got grown-ups, adults, we've got parents who play with kids, we've got adults who don't have kids who play, we've got teenage fans, and we got a lot of young fans. And especially seeing, I have a 9-year-old and an 11-year-old boy, so when I see kids their age just opening those videos of kids unboxing on Christmas Day, or watching kids play the game and play events that we have, the fun and the joy they have playing the game, that's why I come to work. That's why we come to work at VB. It's really fun to see people react to the game that way.
Well, I want to thank you for giving me the time for this interview. It's been great. I actually was not very knowledgeable in the series before I got here, and coming here, you've made a fan out of me, because I see the value that you add to your games, and it seems like everyone on your team is really passionate. So I want to thank you for your time. Again, Vicarious Visions, thank you so much for watching. I'm Trevor Anderson with Mouse and Joypad. We'll see you next time.